So I kind of got to the world of creators, I guess, by way of consumer. So my background is really in kind of consumer investing and consumer operating, with the exception of a very brief stint where I started my career in financial institutions investment banking. Like, you couldn't get more different from what I'm doing now. I was covering like Blackstone and Carlyle and, alternative or like non-bank lenders, like crazy names. And it was actually through that experience I was like, like my heart is in kind of consumer, and this is just like, this fig thing is not for me. So found myself at a consumer private equity firm called L Catterton up in Greenwich, Connecticut, and I sat on their growth team. And so did, everything from restaurants and retail to apparel and accessories, CPG, some consumer tech, consumer services. So like broad-based consumer, and just like fell in love with it. And I think like, the thing that I was most interested in is really kind of like consumer psychographic shifts and, changing preferences and tastes and how that stuff kind of percolates into purchase decisions. And it was that less about like the actual business model that intrigued me. And then after Catterton, left to go get some operating experience, kind of in lieu of business school, which was quite edgy at the time. Whereas like everyone in my class kind of went off to business school, but I went to go join a startup inside of Walmart. Obviously, one of the biggest retailers in the world, and like what better a place to learn kind of consumer behavior and what it means to be in the belly of the beast. And so worked on a startup there within kind of Walmart for about 2 years. And then a team left to go kind of do another startup. So it was like a 4-year journey of just like crazy consumer operating experience. Did a lot of like, more strategy, finance, kind of generalist stuff. Realized I did not want to be an operator. And I really actually missed investing. It's one of these things where you get into a company, and I'm sure you know this too, but like the minutia, right? Like you go so deep into one thing, and you kind of you step away a little bit from seeing different business models and companies and founders and whatnot. You just go super deep, and I missed the diversity of categories and people and ideas that I was kind of encountering in an investing role, and so missed that. And really, I met Slow through like a friend of a friend. I think I met Sam or someone on the team through a friend of a friend, and had no idea what they were doing with Creator. And Sam kind of told me more about it, and my first gut reaction was kind of like, I don't know that this is for me. Because like I don't know anything about Hollywood or like talent. Like it's just I'm good at like consumer. I don't know this other stuff. And he was like, well, if you actually think about it, the things that we want to invest in are not talent and entertainment. It's actually the people who are going to create the next generation of amazing brands and companies, right? They just so happen to be going about it a different way. And did a little bit of my own like personal audit on just like, if I think about like the last 10 things I've purchased, like what was the genesis of why I purchased them? And I kid you not, every single one was either a friend recommended it, an influencer or creator who I follow and trust and love recommended it, or like just some form of word of mouth. It had nothing to do with, oh, I trust Tide, so I'm going to buy Tide, right? Like it was gone were the days of kind of the way my mom had shopped, of like, you have a brand, you make a decision based off the brand. It was all influenced by people. And so it was this kind of like aha moment of like, man, I just think this is where a lot of like consumer is going. And that's not to say that, brands generally will cease to exist. I think they still play a very important role, but there's just this overwhelming sense of like consumer purchase behavior is changing in a big way. And I kind of want to be at the forefront of that. And, what Slow was pitching was like pretty innovative and so kind of felt like a startup within a fund. And so it kind of scratched the both entrepreneurial itch and also the investing itch. And the team is great. And you obviously know them, and off to the races. So that's kind of how I got here.